Welcome to Ball and Chain Podcast. This is episode 187. I'm Max Born again. I have with me, as always, it's my angel.
Hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm okay.
Just okay. Not fantastical.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we have this conversation every week.
Yeah, I know.
We were not here last week. We took a break to play some Halo, and
Oh yeah.
we tested out the new map and streamed some games. It was a lot of fun. I had a blast. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, so we're back this week for episode 187, and we've got some shows to talk about. We didn't get to Chloe didn't get to talk about how X-Files finished, so we'll be talking about that.
Oof.
So we got a whole bunch of different shows to talk about. We've got some gaming news and then the gaming stack. So let's jump right into the gaming stack, and yeah. So what you been playing? What's your gaming stack looking like?
Well, the new game that I don't know if it's a new game or not. Anyway, you decided that there would be a game that I would enjoy. I don't know if we talked about the demo. It's been a couple
We
weeks.
did talk about the demo a couple weeks ago.
Okay, I'll say it's been a couple weeks since I played the demo. But you used some speedy points to cash in for some Xbox points. And so we got the Life is Strange game. Okay, it released about a year ago,
Yeah.
a little over a year ago.
Yeah, a little over a year ago.
And I don't know if it all came out at once. It's like an episodic game. There's 5 episodes. You can buy them all as like a package or individually, I believe.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was released all at the same time or if it was released, bit by bit. It's pretty I just finished right before podcast. Finished the first episode. It's interesting. I think I'm excited to play the next episodes to see kind of how they flow together, how they fit together, if it's pretty continuous or if it jumps around to tell different stories. And there's the whole element of, it's all about time travel or freezing time, and changing the course of time or the course of events.
So you get to change what happens up to a certain degree, like choices and things like that.
Right. The biggest thing that I want to see is if those things that you do affect things in the long term or just the short term. Say, for instance, there's one part where I walk into somebody's bedroom and a bird flies into a window and dies. You have the ability to be next to that window beforehand, rewind time. So basically, you stay frozen next to that window. You don't move. You don't go back to where you were 15 minutes ago. You stay in that same spot. Rewind time and then open up the window so the bird flies into the room instead of flying into the window and dying.
Then it flies in and gives everybody rabies.
Yeah. So when you do that action, certain actions like looking at photos, doing things like that, there's no long-lasting consequences. This particular action, the bird with the window, gives you a little symbol that says, this action has consequences, basically allowing you to say, do I really want to do this?
Right, are you sure this is what I want to do?
Right, or should I reverse? Now, I kind of wish it didn't give you that heads up, because you may think twice about the actions you're taking if you know that they're consequential.
Right. I wish and I kind of think it would be nice if there was like a hard mode or a realistic mode where that there's no HUD. I guess you kind of need a HUD for like clicking on things and stuff like that. But you're exactly right. Like the butterfly thing. Like, do you sure you really want to do this?
Right. And they, sometimes you leave an area and it'll say, okay, if you leave this area, your actions are now set in stone and you can't go back to them. So,
right.
Which is weird because you time travel. So why can't you go back? Anyway,
You can only time travel for the last 15 seconds. Come on.
apparently, but you're having these flash forwards though too to this tornado thing.
Maybe she's related to the people in Lost.
Maybe,
Does she have flash sidewayses
maybe
or
well,
diagonals?
I don't know. At any rate, it'll be interesting to see if the actions that you do in episode 1, those consequences still take place in episode 2. Like,
Mhm.
are those still carried over? Or was that just had some kind of consequence in that episode? I don't know. I really wish you were playing like right alongside of me so we could kind of see more urgently what's happening.
Yeah, I played basically the demo, essentially the first Well, I don't even think it's the first chapter.
No.
It's part of the first chapter. And you have what, like 2 interactions that you could possibly. You've got the bathroom scene, which is the bathroom scene can only happen
Can only
one way.
go one way. It can only end up one way because that's basically the demo. So
Right. So then the second interaction that you have with the principal is basically your first branching off point. So
right,
you can either give him information or keep quiet. And I gave him information. I was a little
which
tattletale.
I did as well.
I'm a little tattletale.
The
Motherfucker.
interesting thing is, I just want to see how much of an impact that has. It
Well,
it
you
came
said
out in some of the other conversations that I told the principal. So okay, that conversation may be a little bit different, but how wide reaching is that? Like,
Mhm.
you know, okay, so what? A conversation's different, but does that really impact the characters and how their life plays out?
Well, you said that you've already had some lashback from that decision that you made in the first chapter, or in the first. There's already been character interaction about that, so
Yeah.
it kind of makes me wonder. I should have, knowing that you went one way, I should have went the opposite way and not played it as I would have in real life.
Just
but,
to see,
but you can have multiple saves, so maybe I'll go back and maybe
Okay.
I'll go back and
test it.
test it out and see what the options are, because I know so. But
It can get a little, particularly the beginning, like the whole demo part. It can get very tedious.
repetitive.
Yeah. So that's one kind of downside. You just kind of have to push through it, I think. But it's all about teaching you about yourself and what you can do. And another interesting thing at the end of the chapter,
Mhm.
it gave you a list of all of the decisions that you made, and gives you. And I was trying to figure out what the heck it meant. World stats and friend stats. So, what percentage of people playing this game made the same decision, or made each decision? So, the very first decision, I think 75% of the people playing it made the same decision I did.
So 75% of the world is tattletales?
It was along those lines.
Wow.
It was in the majority.
Okay. Sweet. That's interesting.
So, it's interesting to see. Obviously, you said we made the same decision, so
Can't really see the difference.
right.
Yeah.
So, I thought that was kind of neat that you can go back and look at all your decisions, what the other possibilities were, because there were some possibilities that I didn't even get to.
Mhm.
So,
In that first chapter? Wow. That's interesting. Which I guess is kind of like what we've been talking about with a couple other a couple other games. Is I want to be able to miss out on content based on my overall experience, and if I make a choice and you make a different choice, everything shouldn't be all packaged up with a nice little bow
Right.
where we all get the exact same content.
we should
And
be
it-
able to talk about the game and say, "What happened to you? What? That never happened in my
right,
game."
right. And in most games, you have a choice, and then the result of that choice might have like a different tree as far as conversation goes, but like moments later will just end the exact same way. So basically, your decision making doesn't really have any major impacts on the story. So that actually has me pretty excited.
Or you get some of those like relationship type RPG games or whatever. I think Star Ocean had this. There was like 86 different endings. Well, the ending was just basically like who ended up friends or married or dating whom, and the relationships. So, that's not really. I mean, yay, you get a different little cut at the end, and you see some of those where you get a little different. There might be 3 or 4 different cut scenes at the end of the game based on some of your decisions.
Mm-hmm.
But for the actual entire gameplay to change would be very interesting.
Right. I don't know. It's gonna be a fun game. I think I enjoy it quite a bit, and I mean it's only $20, which is nice. So, let's see here. I have been playing. Well, like I said, we tested out the new Halo map, Torque. We had our LAN party this past weekend. We played a whole bunch of Halo.
I didn't. I slept.
But so with this last patch for Halo, we've got a whole bunch of new stuff. So we got a new multiplayer map, Torque, which is a symmetrical kind of outer space level. Like you're in some type of like space station. There's some like pillars that are moving and some cylinders that are going up and down, so you can get to the second level of the base. They've got a whole bunch of good stuff on the map. The battle rifle from Halo 2 was remade and is on this map, which is great. But this DLC also gives us the gravity hammer. So now the gravity hammer is back from Halo 3, I believe. We also got Assault, the game type Assault, which also gives us Griffball. And let me tell you, I have never been a real fan of Griffball. It really wasn't that much fun for me. I think Griffball was Halo 2. I'm almost positive that was Griffball. But anyway, I didn't really care too much about it because that was about the time when we were playing a lot of Halo 2 like competitively, and Griffball just really wasn't appealing. So this is a game type where there's you're on a flat map that has nothing on it. There's a ball that spawns, or a bomb that spawns in the middle, a neutral bomb. Everybody has swords in the original version, and then in the newer version, people have swords and hammers. And you try to pick the ball up and get to their base or whatever to score a point. So I really didn't care too much for it, but we played a little bit of it. It was a lot of fun. It was interesting. I mean, with
Eli had fun playing with you.
Yeah, Eli had fun playing with it. I think the additional sprint made a huge difference, and the just the different mobility made it better, I think. So you can now sprint. You can now do like boost, like forwards, backwards, or left or right. So being able to get that sudden boost of energy. And then also like the Spartan dash, or whatever you call it, Spartan slam, where like you like are up in the air and you can hold the melee button and the little radical like spirals on the ground, and you can like smash to the ground. So those like different types of mobility additions to the game really makes it a lot of fun, and less just like, okay, I'm running towards everybody and slam all, we're all dead. And now it's like, okay, I can run towards, and then I have the option of like, throwing down the hammer, or I can boost backwards to avoid their slam, and then move forward and hit. There's a lot more strategy, I think, in it as far as the mobility goes. So, yeah, I will say that I enjoyed the Griffball games that we played. But more importantly, the most important thing in the world that we now have is the Halo 1, the Halo C pistol. This is the 3-shot kill, bang, 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 you're dead. Super awesome. So totally excited. And they also brought over the animation from Halo 1. When you would kill someone with a headshot with the Halo 1 pistol, I think it's even with the sniper rifle too, their body would do this little like spin thing, like, kind of like, I don't know. It's hard to explain.
I don't know.
But it's just neat that they paid that. And this is the company that didn't even make Halo C. They just know, they're just, playing to the fan base. I mean, they know what their fan base wants. They're in tune with it. I mean, how long since Halo 2, there's what, been Halo 3, Halo 4, Halo Reach, that's all been under Bungie, and people have been asking we want the Halo 1 pistol, or we want the Halo 2 battle rifle back for competitive reasons, and we never got any of that. So now we're we've got our weapons back, and it's just exciting. I played some Mortal Kombat 10, which is extremely gory. Oh my god, it's very gory. You watched some of it, right?
No, I pretty much tried to just keep Eli's eyes off of it.
No. Well, I was able to.
I have no interest in watching it. I try to avoid it.
We played some multiplayer, which is kind of fun. But yesterday, a couple days ago, I played through the campaign, which the last Mortal Kombat had a really good campaign. Like, in great storytelling, had like this awesome like interaction between characters, and it wasn't just, hey, pick a character and that character's in a whole bunch of fights and this is the final battle and it's over. No, this had like went through like a whole bunch of like storytelling for character interactions, and kind of gave you a couple different branching stories or whatever. So you didn't play as just one character, you kind of branched out and got everybody. This one is a little bit different. You still got to play as everybody. Basically, there's like 12 different chapters or 13 different chapters or whatever, and you got to play through like 5 or 6 battles for each character or whatever. The only thing that I didn't really care for is like the constant time hopping. Like, you were in like present day with Johnny Cage, and then in the middle of Johnny Cage's story, you went back 5 years, and you went back to present day, finished up Johnny Cage's campaign, and then you started Sonya Blade's campaign, and that went back 15 years, and then you went forward 25 years, and like it was just like you were just like, so 25 years ago, was that from present day or was that from 15 years in the past? You know what I mean? Like, there was just like, it got to the point where I was like, okay, I really don't know where I'm at in this place. I just know at some point in time, these two characters interacted. So it was just like, the present day stuff, if they got rid of like, if they just gave it to me with like, I don't know, like 2 or 3 fights, like take out all the like, 25 years ago, like the past fighting cutscenes, it just gave me those as cutscenes, and you just play through the present day stuff, I think it would make a whole lot of sense. It'd be about 2/3 of the fighting, but I think as far as storytelling goes, I think that would have made a little bit more sense. So, but the game is super awesome. Like, the animations are super smooth. The gore is awesome. So if you're a fan of gore, this has got the. It's just the one chick that's kind of amazing is I don't know her name, but she's kind of like an insect character. Her melee, like, she has like these giant like spider legs that come out of her back, and like she like stabs you with like these spider leg looking things. But she can open up her basically her like chest cavity opens up, and like just wasps will like fly out of, like, it's just really gross. So highly recommend it if you're into that kind of thing. So and then broke out some Rock Band 3 recently on the Xbox 360.
I missed that too.
Yeah. So re-downloaded all of our songs that I've purchased onto our Xbox. We need to get yours downloaded there too, because I've purchased over 50 songs. I know you've purchased more than that. Like, you've purchased additional songs, so we got to get those downloaded too. But rocking out to let's see here. What did I play? We did live Lightning Crashes, right? That's them. What else was on there? Tenacious D Tribute was on there. Had some fun with that. Smash Mouth Walking on the Sun. A bunch of good stuff. Lady Gaga, sung by Eric Cartman. Poker Face. So, anyway, like I said 2 weeks ago, when we move, Rock Band 4 is a must. Is a must. So, all right, let's talk about some of our TV shows. You want to talk about some Walking Dead?
Oh, I'm trying to think of where we left off. 2 episodes full of Walking Dead. The last 2 episodes have been, right?
Yeah, it was the last 2 episodes. So
the last 2 episodes have been on the lighter side.
Carl's back. This is the one that we just saw Carl back for the first time out of bed. That's actually months later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they said about 2 months or so later. He's still, obviously wearing the bandage over the eye.
Which you probably will all the time. I don't know if he'll ever take that off.
You're right. So bandage over the eye. He's a little emo-ish seeming, and at least that first episode back. We establish Rishon becomes the thing.
Carl.
Yeah. And we meet Jesus and the whole Hilltop clan.
Right. So this is basically Daryl and Rick are out scavenging for food. Alexandria is running low on food supply, so you've got these two characters going out looking for food. And they basically come across a truck, which we had kind of two different opinions about this. They came across a truck off of a clue from what's the guy's name? Eugene. And it was full of food. And my opinion was, take the food back. Who cares? Call it a day. And your opinion was, well, you could still take it back or just keep going, which they kept going. And they ran into this character named Jesus, who then tricked them and stole the truck of food. So very crafty person, was able to.
He's very ninja-y.
Right, he set up a trap for them with fireworks, or like a distraction type of thing with fireworks in a can, a trash can or whatever. And meanwhile, was able to steal the keys off of Rick, and then so they eventually catch back up with him. And the part that I don't understand is they catch back up with him, and then they tie him down and leave him on the side of the road. And before they could even leave, he was out of the ropes and on top of the truck without them knowing.
He's like a little escape artist.
Right. So,
like I said, very ninja-y.
Right. But they eventually take him back they track him down again. And
lose the van
with all the food, so there goes that, and then take him back to Alexandria, and they
they leave him unconscious and tied up.
Right, with a one guard with 3 exits jail cell is how you explained it. Like you've got one guy guarding 2 exits and a window. Like, oh wow, that seems great.
I didn't hear that, but
I wonder why.
Anyway, he sneaks out and interrupts Rick and Michonne.
I don't think
doesn't really interrupt.
Yeah, it wasn't interrupting. He kind of scoped out the entire place. Like took a look at their food supply, got a look at their arsenal. Basically, was free, walking around, and then
But walks in on them in the nude.
And yeah. So that was the end of that episode. This episode, they sit him down talking about how he's part of this group called the Hilltop Group, who trades with other settlements.
Right.
And
so our group is learning that they're not obviously they know they're not the only survivors out there, but that there's other like civilized people out there with a plan and
kind of like an
communities
agreement,
and work together. So yeah.
Right. So Jesus basically says, "Well, I can take you to Hilltop, and I'll show you that we mean no harm, that we're good guys like you. There are good people still in this world," which at this point I kind of believe him now, after seeing Hilltop and all that stuff. So they get back and they talk to Greg. Is the guy's name, or George?
The leader?
Yeah,
I think it's Greg.
I think it's Greg. I think you're right. I think it is Greg. And Gregory seems a little like disconnected. Like he doesn't really know. He thinks he knows what's going on, but he spends a lot of time in the mansion that's at the center of the.
Right. He's their leader, but basically for show, I think.
Yeah. This is nothing like what the governor type of leader. Like the governor had his hand in everything and like went out on hunts and stuff like that. This guy is completely like, well, talk to Jesus. He knows what's going on. He'll get you set up. So I don't know. I don't like the guy. He seems kind of, just a little weird. Stuck up. So basically it's who's all in Hilltop with it's Rick,
All our major
Daryl, all the
players.
Rick,
Well,
Daryl,
Carol and all them not, but
right. So Rick, Daryl, Michonne, Abraham,
Maggie.
Maggie, Glenn. So all the big name people. Sasha and Rosita are still, and
Carol.
Carol and them, Eugene, they're still back at Alexandria. Carl is still back there too. But they're all there, and basically some of the Hilltop, you want to call them Hilltop Retreat from Magic, from the Hilltop crew comes back and
Tried to kill the leader.
tried to kill Gregory.
Right.
Basically, Negan. Then we find out that Negan has his hand in Hilltop, basically telling them, "We won't fuck with you if you give us half of your food supply, water, stuff like that. Basically, all the stuff that they grow at Hilltop,
Yeah,
which
and
seems to be a
since-
lot."
Well, and since they're not fighters, they just kind of
Yeah, Ben.
caved and said, "Okay."
Right.
Like-
Yeah. There's really nothing we can do. So if you're, almost like if you protect us in a way from yourself, 'cause it seems like Negan's group is like, you know what, we're the baddest of the bad, so we're gonna kill all the
Give me
bad.
your lunch money.
Right. Give us your lunch money, and we won't really protect you, but no one's gonna fuck with you because we'll kill them and stuff.
I don't think they're even saying that. They're
Well,
saying, we're not going to mess with you.
Well, but I mean, it's kind of like in between the lines type of thing. So like if Negan's group notices that there's another group fucking with them, they're gonna be like, well, we need to kill this other group because
true,
that's
'cause-
where we're getting our food from.
That's true.
So I don't know. I think it just kind of goes without saying. Like they're not saying you're
It's almost a symbiotic relationship. So I don't know how bad that necessarily is for Hilltop, but
well, and apparently the food supply that they're sending isn't enough or something like that, or wasn't.
they're requesting more and
They're
more.
requesting more and more. So that's kind of what Maggie's kind of like the diplomat for Alexandria. She kind of uses that as the bargaining chip. Yeah, we'll take out Negan's group of, and she's like, how many is it? And they're like, well, we've seen them in groups of 20, but we're not, we know where they're at, but we've seen them in groups of 20. Like, okay. So our group is planning on murdering Negan's group and basically getting half of.
They're still taking half.
Still taking half.
So Hilltop really isn't benefiting.
Right. But I think it's a little more. I think
They're hoping to get more from Rick's group.
Right. The protection is a little more like, yeah, we will protect you. We will go to war for you, type of thing. And this is really the first time that our group has kind of like sought out to kill someone that they don't even know who. I mean, I guess they had the interaction with Daryl and
The guys on the bikes.
yeah, the guys on the bikes, but that was pretty much like we're either gonna die or we
Yeah.
need to kill these people.
But we'll see how it plays out next
week. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. It was a great couple of episodes, like as far as like low key, Rick had to stab some dude in the neck.
But
and
something's coming up pretty
Yeah.
big.
Yeah. So Better Call Saul. Don't really have too much to talk about this, but Better Call Saul is starting to pull on that same string that Breaking Bad did, where how is Walter White going to juggle these two lifestyles? How is he going to be a father at home to his newborn kid and his and his son, and he's got a wife and school, job, and then he's trying to be not a drug dealer, but
Drug kingpin.
yeah, kingpin. How's he gonna juggle this? And oh my god, how's he gonna get out of this? And you can kind of see Saul going down the same road where he's making decisions that are kind of in the gray area. Like for instance, this last episode, it started out with him soliciting work to elder people for to represent them in his upcoming class action lawsuit, which is completely against the law, obviously, to solicit to elder people. And the group he works for is very gung ho about we can't do that, blah blah blah, and he's It's like, oh, I'm not doing them did this way, but you know, I'll find a different way just to make sure everybody's happy. So he's trying to balance out the two lifestyles. Plus, he's got his girlfriend that he's trying to keep safe, but or not keep safe, but keep as his girlfriend. So I mean, and we know it's gonna end badly because she is not even mentioned in the original series. So it's got to be a pretty bad break. So, but kind of left on a cliffhanger. Saul or Jimmy at this point, because he's not really going by Saul yet, basically created an ad, TV ad, to target people in these what you call it, retirement communities, to kind of get them to call in for the class action lawsuit, and it worked. But he didn't get approval for it. He asked about it, and the owner said, "Yeah, we'll talk about it on Monday." But he went ahead and ran the ad anyway, and he got a pretty nasty phone call from one of the partners. So it says he's got a meeting with them first thing Monday morning at 8 a.m. So we're I don't know. What's your thoughts on the whole situation?
I've only seen like 3 episodes.
Well, no. I mean,
on
on that situation in general, like.
I think you shouldn't have.
See, I don't know. I'm kind of like. I would be pretty ecstatic. Like, I don't think I would have busted out the stats right there over the phone. I think I'd be like, okay, we'll meet on Monday. And you go on Monday, you're like, look, I spent $700, made this awesome ad.
But it may not be 100% legal.
I don't know. I mean, if he was
if
okay,
you're gonna lose your entire law firm over it.
I don't know, but I mean, if he was planning on showing the one chick and say, hey, what do you think about it? Because he checked with her first before he ran it, and she said, oh yeah, it looks great. I think she would have said something that would have signaled this. You can't say that.
They don't. I mean, they're the lawyers. They may not necessarily know what the what are all of the stipulations.
I hope they do. Well, anyway, so I think he's going into this meeting like, look, I spent $700 and got you over 100 different, 100 more class action lawsuits attendees or whatever you want to call them. So that would be more than pay for itself. I'd be like, let's run that again. You want to talk about X-Files real quick? And
so the finale happened. Not too many people were happy with it.
Oh my god!
It ends on a super cliffhanger.
No, I wasn't happy with it.
Yeah. I don't know. Overall, I was excited. I feel like they did a nice job with the reboot. You know, the 6 episodes. I wish they had more though. I think they just have a lot of story to tell, and they did it so fast. You know, you got some of those kind of silly episodes in there that, you know, X-Files was about, the monster type ones. That
the one that was running around
the
in the
werewolf
porta potty.
thing, right? So you got some of those types of episodes in there, and then you had more of the conspiracy theory type episodes that, you know, really followed the whole storyline and everything. But yeah, I'd be surprised if they don't come back and say that they are going to, you know, do more, either in a movie or in some additional episodes. They only did 6, I think, because of the time constraints that, well, I don't think they would know if they really knew what to expect as far as viewership. But, you know, Gillian Anderson's on at least one other show right now. I'm not sure what David Duchovny's schedule's like, but, you know, 6 episodes is they could commit to that. They say, oh yes, not a big deal, not a huge time commitment. We can do that. We'll see what they do. I'm hoping that they announce more soon, though.
This almost seems, and you kind of see the trend. I mean, they just announced Fuller House season 2,
Yeah.
Netflix only. Maybe it'll be a Netflix only type of thing.
I don't know. Fuller House. I know it's not on a list of things to talk about. I watched the whole season 1. I really enjoyed it. It's cheesy as heck.
Well, that's the original.
First one was as well.
Cheesy as well.
Critics gave it horrendous reviews.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, it got just trashed.
Really?
You know Jesse's catchphrase of like "Have mercy." Well, one of the headlines said Netflix has no mercy. They're bringing back Fuller House for season 2.
Oh no. That's sad.
So hardcore, you know, people who, you know, loved Full House back in the day are probably gonna, enjoy it. It's fun. It's light. It's easy to watch.
But today's TV standards.
Right. I mean, it's
So this is something where you gotta like, okay, I need to go back in the early '90s and grab my Jolt soda and sit with my big ass CRT TV and enjoy it. You can't,
you need to be back in the
that
mind of a
mindset.
10-year-old kid.
All right, yeah, exactly.
Um,
Or an adult at that time. I mean, you got to be back in that time frame.
and Eli enjoyed watching it with me. There's a little boy that's close to his age. There's a puppy. Like
Right.
he liked watching it. But yeah, there's a lot of Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen references.
Right, because they're not in it.
Right. And then Michelle references as well. Because obviously, in the show, they're not Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen, but, one of them, the girl bought a designer dress and she goes, "It's a Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen." And they look at the tag and she goes, "Wowzer, no wonder they didn't have to act anymore." And then they look directly at the camera.
Oh, no.
I mean, things like that, which, cheesy as heck. There's a lot of like talking to the camera. But I mean, think about Saved by the Bell. Zach Morris would freeze time and talk to the camera. I mean, that's just what those TV shows in the era did. So, overall, it's fun. I'm glad they're bringing it back for another season.
So
I'll watch it.
you think X-Files, bring it back to X-Files, you think that would be something that X-Files would do, is bring it,
that Netflix would do?
that Netflix would do, is bring X-Files back?
I think Netflix would go for it. I don't know that the actors necessarily would. If you think about the people who are on the regulars right now, I mean, how often have we seen the girl that plays DJ, Cameron Burr, whatever her name is, the girl that played Steph? I mean, they haven't been major players on TV for a while. Gillian Anderson still has some big. I'm thinking their bankroll may be a little bit higher than
What Netflix can supply.
Right. That's kind of my thinking. I could be totally off base on that, but anyway.
I don't know. As far as like fan service goes, I think it'd be a great way to do it. I mean, as far as
I
I
think
could
Fox would love to have it back, though. I mean, Fox
Yeah, you
could
think
use
so?
some big show. I mean, honestly, I don't know how many big shows Fox really has right now. X-Files was one of their big shows back
Yeah.
in the day,
Okay.
and I think that Fox would love to have them back if they were able to get the actors and producer and everybody on the same time schedule to produce more.
Yeah, I've got Gotham. I've got Gotham season 2, episode 1 that just aired this past Monday. I didn't get a chance to watch it. I actually I DVR'd the whole first season, so I'm right in the middle of binge watching that. I just finished episode 6, I believe.
You are?
Yeah.
Is this while I'm asleep?
Yeah,
Oh.
I'm pretty much watching it when you're asleep.
Okay.
It's a pretty good series. I'm kind of enjoying it. It's not like it's I don't know how to explain it because they're all kids at this point in time. Like Bruce, his parents were just murdered. Spoiler alert. But he's still a kid, and it's not really about him. It's more about Gordon and his reactions with the different like kingpins in Gotham as it's like getting built up, and you can kind of start to see the seeds that are being planted now that when when Bruce does become Batman, like Arkham Asylum is this huge facility now, and like there's a whole bunch of controversy surrounded that. Right now it just seems like it's just it's just an everyday asylum. There's no there's no controversy or what is basically what I'm saying. So like it's very like kind of, I almost want to say it's almost like a I guess like a CSI almost kind of episodic type of content where there isn't much references to Batman. Now this in the trailer for season 2 they do make reference to Mr. Freeze and actually have him.
It looks like it's more about villains.
Right, it's more about villains or whatever. And like they actually show Mr. Freeze like the character, so I'm wondering like if this is going to kind of like jumpstart that whole career, which it can't get too far unless like there's a huge jump in time because like I said, Bruce is still a kid. Like his parents literally just got murdered in this season, like it's still in the same time frame. So, I'm really looking forward to that. So I should be able to finish that and actually watch episode 2 live this coming. I think it's Monday. I think it's this coming Monday. So if you haven't seen it, it's a great series. I think that's on Fox.
I think so.
Couple video game things I want to talk about real quick. Activision, we talked about this with who was it that wasn't having a E3 brief? Oh God, who was it? I can't remember who it was. Activision's not going to be at E3. They're not going to have their own booth. Essentially, they're going to basically have parts of Sony's booth.
I thought you said somebody else was going to be there.
Yeah, there's somebody else. No, I know Bethesda's going to have their own press conference, but I
Right.
could have sworn we talked about a couple weeks ago or a month ago that someone said that they're not going to be there. I know Nintendo's not going to be there.
That's
So it's kinda-
probably it.
I think that was it. So it's kind of like this thing, this trend that's, oh, well, E3 is going to be big, but we're not going to have like this huge press conference, and we're not going to have, you'll find us, we're going to be in a couple different, we'll be over here, we'll bring some games, but it kind of seems like E3 is kind of dying down a little bit. It's not going to be like the big show. So, which kind of makes sense for Activision Blizzard because they've got their own BlizzCon, like they've got their own convention, so they can announce shit there. But I just thought it was interesting. Uncharted 4, we've got some sad news. Got delayed again. So it's not coming out till May 10th.
Gives us more time to save up for our PlayStation 4.
It does give us more time. Although, good news is that it's got to be close to done. I mean, it's this weekend they're running a stress test.
So May 10th is only 2 months away.
Yeah, so they're running a stress test this weekend, March 4th through March 6th, where you can play the multiplayer beta. So that's kind of fun. So if you've got, it's an open beta, so you don't have to have a pre-order or anything. It's just download the app and start playing. Should we buy a PlayStation 4 just for that?
No, I don't play the multiplayer anyway.
I gave you an in.
I know you did.
I just gave you an in,
And I'm
you
not
said
taking
no.
it.
And you said no. The last thing on the docket is the Xbox One March update. So we got a whole bunch of really cool features coming out for the Xbox One. First and foremost, now we got backwards compatibility, which is great. So you can plug in your old games, download them, and play them. But let's say you want to download and play Borderlands 2 or Borderlands 1, but you don't have Borderlands. You don't own it. What do? Well, before this update, like right now, you would actually have to go to your Xbox 360 and purchase it, or go out to a store and purchase the disc, come home, put it in, and download it and all that stuff. Well, with this update, you will be able to purchase Xbox 360 games right from your Xbox One console, which is major convenience. The other tidbit that I'm excited about is you're able to customize the length of your DVR. So you can, right now when you say Xbox record that or whatever, it records 15 seconds. Now you can have it record in increments, or you can have it record up to 5 minutes all at once, which is totally awesome. You can watch videos directly from the Xbox One activity feed. So rather than looking through someone's activity feed and like clicking on something and then it opens up another app, it'll just play the video right there in the feed, which is awesome. So more user availability right there. 16-player chat for Xbox Live parties, which was upped from 12. So kind of getting into the larger parties. I know Halo was a pretty big one where especially with Warzone, where you'd have 16 on 16. That kind of sucks because you can only have 12 people in a party. So it kind of speaks to those larger games. The Twitch app is now going to include party chat during gameplay streams. So when you're streaming, you can have the Twitch chat like streaming right there for everybody to see, which is nice. Achievements will now be viewable from your guide button. So when you push the guide button, and the little sidebar on the left pops out, and you've got like who's logged in and who your messages and all that stuff. You're gonna be able to see what achievements you have, what percentage, how close you are, and stuff like that. And last but not least, they are bringing back gamer score leaderboards, which is great because you can see, who's unlocked how much this past week and stuff like that. You remember that when they had like weekly ones, you could see who's unlocked the most in that week or whatever, like a top 10 type of dealy thing. So, all really good stuff. Constantly evolving the service, which I appreciate. That's what basically. If you think about it, that's what made the Xbox 360 so good. It was just iteration over iteration, and eventually they got to this, awesome, service that was the Xbox or, system, which was the Xbox 360. So we'll get there.
Okay.
All right, guys. You have anything else you want to touch on before we head out?
Nope.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, guys. This was episode 187. If you missed us, you can catch us every Wednesday live, roughly at 8 o'clock, mostly at 8 o'clock, on twitch.tv/BC podcast. If you'd like, you can actually, I would like it that you head over to our Twitter feed and give us a follow. It's at BC Podcast. I always post when we're going live and a couple other tidbits about the show and stuff like that. We reach out for feedback from you guys, but that is at BC Podcast. If you want to check out our older shows, our archive of this show, and we've got a Magic the Gathering show called Mana Drained, you can head over to our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/72DPI online. That's where we kind of host all of our old content and archive content. We upload those every night, and so we'll be back next Wednesday for episode 188. In the meantime, have a great night, and we'll see you guys next week.
Good night.